Hey there, I'm Sergeant Rolls, and you are listening to Season 2, Episode 6 of our Minuteman Moment. As most of you may know, April is Month of the Military Child. So in honor of that observance, we have with us Mr. Ian, who is a military child. Welcome.
Hello.
And we also have Tech Sergeant Porter with us, who is one of our PAs.
And also a military child.
And a military child as well.
Thanks. Well, credit where credit is due, please.
Okay,
Speaking of which, weren't you also a military child?
I was a military child.
All right. Let's all high five each other. Wow, amazing.
Ignore that they're all off sick. It's fine.
Yeah, don't pay any attention to that. All right. Well, since we have 3 military children here, and I'm the interviewee.
Interviewer.
And you are the interviewee, son.
You can interview me, too.
Yeah, I think that would be fun.
All right.
So, all right. I guess, being a military child, from my experience, I grew up in the military. My dad was military until I was about 14. And then he joined the Guard, so it wasn't as bad. But I will say, growing up, middle school, upper elementary school, even into high school, it was hard for me to leave my friends every time I had to PCS or move, I guess. So
you're a little bit fresher on the age spectrum. So how does that feel to you?
Moving schools every few years, it was rough leaving my friends behind. But I think I was lucky enough to be in that age group where I didn't really miss my friends for too long because they're like kindergarten, first grade, second grade, those friends.
Right.
Third grade, we were in Arkansas.
Yeah.
So okay, that's fair.
I was too young to really miss my friends.
Yeah. Well, is there anything that you liked about moving?
I liked not being in the same state for that long.
A restless soul, ladies and gentlemen.
So, since your parents were military and stuff, where of all the places that you've lived, what's your favorite place?
I lived in Hawaii, California, and Arkansas. It was those 3.
Mm-hmm.
I think, crazily, Arkansas has been my favorite place so far.
All right, just leave. I'm cutting off this interview right now.
If it was a choice between Arkansas and California, I would have chose California or Hawaii. But I've been here so long.
Yeah.
It's like I'm Stockholm Syndrome to Arkansas.
Right on. A little biased now. Right on. I bet you're a Razorback fan too, aren't you?
Wait, are you?
Don't tell Dave.
So when I was growing up, I was born in California, then it was Arizona, and then it was Germany, and then Nebraska, and that's where my dad retired. And he didn't do Guard or anything, just did his 21 years, and then that was it. Oh. So I have some memory of Germany, but all my childhood was Nebraska, and I don't know. And then all of a sudden we moved to San Antonio, Texas, and I was like, we didn't have any family there. It was a good military town,
Right.
So that's how I landed in San Antonio. I don't know, but I refer to that as home.
Is that where you live the longest?
Yeah. Oh. Mm-hmm. Go Spurs, go. Anyways, yeah, I know you couldn't see her eye roll, but it was there, folks. Trust me.
It was true. It was. So, okay. So, we got a lot of different perspectives, a lot of different opportunities to travel and stuff. Is that something that you like, traveling back and forth and doing all these different things? And, do you often ever feel like, Sergeant Porter, for you growing up, mm-hmm. and then Ian, for you now, do you feel like you have a different perspective on things or a different outlook on life, or higher expectations, different expectations than your friends? And if so, what are they? Like, how do you feel like you differ from?
Like, he's still a kid. Don't give him a 32-part question.
I know. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good.
Purple.
I would say that I think it's weird when people just endlessly deny ever leaving their hometown. It's like, you can love your hometown and be proud of where you're from, but do you really just never want to leave your hometown? I don't understand it. Maybe it's because I've been in a lot of different places all over Arkansas, all over California, I just don't understand when people are like, this is my hometown, I'm never going to leave it.
Yeah.
That baffles me, honestly. I mean, yeah, I feel like that's more Stockholm syndrome than anything, you know.
Yeah, there's people who are just like, I've never left the state before, and they're graduating high school, and they're like, oh, I'm going to Tennessee for the first time. And I'm like, it's only 2 hours away, you know? So, but I don't know, I think it's like a cool thing to have that opportunity. Like, we've all been overseas because of a parent or been to other states, you know, like Ian was born in California, lived in Hawaii.
Lived in California for a little bit, right?
And then lived in California, and then grew up in Arkansas, you know?
Right.
Like, where's home for you? I don't know, because just kind of floating on the wind, you know?
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. My kiddo, my firstborn, Laz, he was born in Ankara, Turkey, and then we went to here, and then they remember, well, Laz more remembers Germany, but my daughter was born here, and then we moved to Germany, and then done active duty, and now I'm in the Guard, so. But, yeah, I don't remember, like I said, Germany too much, but speaking of overseas, you've deployed, I've deployed, you've had parents that have deployed. Tell, from the flip side, you know, we know our hardships, we're missing you guys, but what kind of environment were you dealing with at home, and, you know, what was going on in your head?
Well, when I was old enough to know what deployment was, it was always a worry that my parents were deploying to an unsafe place.
Yep.
Like when mom was in Honduras or dad was in Afghanistan, I was always a worry. I was like, they're going to deploy and I'm never going to see my mom or dad again. I obviously missed my parents, but I always had a parent there, whether it was dad or mom. But the main concern was, like, I knew they were going to unsafe places. That was, like, the point. And my main worry or fear was always that they were going to die while they were over there, and I wasn't going to see them again.
Did you ever, like, act up? Because my kiddos did that when...
I acted out for attention a lot because, Mom, you used to work pretty, like, mean hours.
Right.
So I used to act out for attention a lot because I felt like Mom was working way too much.
Yeah.
I don't do that anymore. I feel like I see my parents too much now.
He's 16, everybody.
I'm like, you know that's normal, right? Like that's what they consider normal. So, yeah, that's what we're all talking about, the flip side, the military child side. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't have any regrets. It was hard for me moving around. I think the last time when my dad left the Air Force and we moved to San Antonio, and, you know, we're like settling. I don't know. That was like the hardest transition because I was going into 6th grade and I was just like, just had to, like, maybe 2 meltdowns.
Yeah. I know for me, like, our last PCS, our last move, I was 15. I was in high school.
Oh, there you go.
And I had been going to private school. I went to Catholic school, like, my whole life. And so...
So prim, so proper.
So I not only left literally everybody I knew in high school and had to start at a brand new high school, but I went to public school, and it was really scary.
You're like, ew, gross.
and it was definitely a hard adjustment. Like, at that point, I feel like, I don't know, maybe you can kind of, like, chime in on this about, you know, being a teenager and, you know, what you have established with your friends and your peers and stuff like that. But for me, when I got to the school I was going to for 10th through 12th grade, everybody already knew each other. Yeah. Everybody already had their cliques. Everybody already had their best friends. So because my dad was military, I mean, I was pretty versatile. I was able to make friends easily, but it was really hard for me at that point because we're older, you know, and in my opinion, it was like the worst time to move. But that was my hardest move too, was the very last one, just because I didn't really know what to do. You know, all my friends that I knew were gone back in Mississippi where we lived, and all the new friends I had were like, they weren't my friends for very long, so most of them I don't even talk to anymore because as soon as I graduated high school, I left. and I went into the military. So
I'm getting out of here. I
Yeah.
don't even know these people.
yeah, I don't know you.
No, like but my I remember having a hard time, but the PCS. So the last place we lived was in California. Oh yeah, I forgot that. Nebraska and then California and then done. Yeah, my oldest brother, he was going into his senior year, and we moved that summer to my dad's last location, and he's
Yeah.
like, "It was my senior year. I knew everybody," and I was like,
Yeah.
at the time, I was like, "Shut up, we're all moving."
Yeah,
But I
yeah,
was like, that
That's
had to be
rough.
tough.
yeah.
Rough.
Like I couldn't imagine. I mean, that's why I got out of active duty, because I know like we had been here for so long, and Cole and Ian were at that point where they were starting to get that way, where they were making their friends, and they liked being here, and their dad
Liked.
moved here, so he was close to them, and so I was just like, I can't do to them what my dad did to me. It wasn't like he was doing something intentional to me, but I remember how it made me feel.
Yeah.
So I had an opportunity to come to the Guard, and I took it just so, well, there's multiple reasons, but one of my main...
She wasn't only thinking of you, man. Yeah, it's not like that.
One of my main reasons for coming to the Guard is so I wouldn't get PCS, so the kids could stay here with their, and like have like an established home,
Stable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I knew I wouldn't deploy as much, and I could be home with them, and it was just seemed like a good choice to me.
Oh yeah. I don't regret coming to the Guard at all either. So, granted, it was a little bit after I left active duty, but yeah, I was just like, I had my own reasons, but yeah, no regrets.
Yeah.
I think about the school thing you said with like making new friends and all that. I think if you're like moving states often, you get pretty good at sliding in with friend groups that are already established. But it makes it really hard to make like actual friends, because you meet these people, your friends, you're like, I'm just going to move in a few years. So they're my friends at school, and I'm not going to bother to get to know them.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's a very valid point. I mean, like,
True.
I mean, it's kind of like what I just said. Like when I was in high school, I had friends, and as soon as I graduated, I left, and I talked to Val and my friend Meg.
Oh, you know Meg?
Oh, I know Meg.
Yeah.
Ida, you know Meg?
I do not know Meg.
You don't know Meg?
I don't
oh my
know
gosh,
Meg.
you need to know Meg.
Man.
But yeah, it's just, maybe it's like a subconscious mindset that you develop, like, whatever, okay, I'll see you later and never talk to you again, unless I see you sometime down the road, So, but I know, like, when I was deployed in Honduras and you were at home with your dad, one of the things I liked was that I had the ability to just FaceTime with you whenever I wanted to see you.
You were still in the same time zone too. Like, jeez.
Yeah, we
That's
were.
lucky.
Yeah,
Like,
I've been pretty lucky with my deployments. I've only been in the same times.
yeah. That's pretty lucky. Yes.
Yeah. But that was one of the things that I remember about when I was a kid. When my dad was deployed, like, we had to literally write letters. We didn't have email.
Yeah.
We had to, or we would take videotapes.
You're old. How old? I'm just kidding.
You're old.
So old.
Whatever. But we would make
Guys are both
videotapes.
old.
Get out. Now, videotapes, that's pretty cool.
Turning off your mic.
Right.
Yeah, we would make videotapes, and we would, with like a VHS, and we would mail them to my dad, and then he would take the VHS tape, do something like a video, and mail it back to us of like, like what it looked like outside, or you know, just something silly.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
No, yeah, technology has definitely made deployments a lot more bearable for all sides.
Yeah, because I got to talk to Ian. I got to talk to you like a few times a week.
I thought it was almost like every day.
Yeah, it was almost every day. I would call and FaceTime with you and Cole, and it made it easier. And the difference from that, from my last deployment on active duty to thinking about how it was when my dad was active duty deployed.
Yeah.
Like, that's such a huge difference, It's just crazy I don't know.
But still, even talking with like younger kids. So my son was old enough to, when I was stationed here, he was old enough to be like, he was in preschool, like the closest one right before kindergarten. I don't know. Excuse me, but like I would go home. I would go to the office. I was deployed to UAE. Let me air quotes that my deployment to UAE, and so I would go to the office and I would do like FaceTime with them, or it didn't have FaceTime then. It was the you just off the computer,
Skype or something.
Yeah, it was Skype or something like that. But point is that he was like, oh, okay, hey dad, hi, blah blah blah, and my daughter, she's 2 years younger than him, so she's like, oh, Mr. Man in the computer, like it's like. Then that's the thing. When I got back, and yeah, that's right. You guys even caught a picture of that.
Yep.
When I got back, my now ex-wife was like, "Go, children, run to your father." And my son's like, "Yeah, hey, Bob," and like, da, 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 and big hug. And then my daughter was like, "Wait, who am I running to?"
Yeah.
I don't know this guy. And
I remember that. I think I was the one that took the photo for that.
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, that was like, that hurt actually. I'm not going to lie. Because, yeah, my son kind of forgot me too, in Afghanistan. Yeah, so I just remember that being a thing. But obviously that's on my side, not their side. But,
yeah. I would say too, like, anytime I would go deploy or TDY and then I'd come back to like Cole and Ian, I would always be more excited to see you guys than you were to see me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think my feelings were hurt almost every single time. Not like bad or anything, but just like, I missed you guys so much. And
like, why aren't they running into my arms?
Yeah, and you're just like, hi, Mom. and I'm just like, oh, okay. Hugs.
I know, right? So wasn't
I think it's just a
movie,
parent thing. Yeah, it wasn't like in the movies. Yeah.
Oh, man. Then the orchestras. Yeah. But I don't know. So
like,
what about you? How did you feel when Mom came home?
It was nice seeing my mom again, obviously, but like I knew she would come home.
Mm-hmm.
So I missed her, but like I wasn't surprised when she got home.
See?
Or excited, clearly.
See?
I mean, I knew she would come home, so I was like, it wasn't really exciting to me because I was like, I know I'll see her again.
Okay, all right.
I will say too that there have been a lot of times, like I know E said that, not in this job necessarily, but in other jobs that I've had, I worked like crazy hours, and my kids are so like good, resilient to those. They would either be coming into work with me at 11 o'clock at night and sleeping in the cot that's beside my computer desk while I do something, or they're willing to go stay the night at my friend's house, and she can take care of them and be with them through the night while I'm working, or having to get up in the middle of the night because I have to do alert photography and I don't have anybody to watch the kids,
Yeah,
and I like to think that not that was a good thing, but I think that it kind of
Toughened them up,
maybe showed them some resiliency, and
it's like growing up when we were kids. I'm a latchkey kid.
Yeah.
Walk
home.
Yeah.
It's a mile and a half that way. You'll be all right.
Yeah.
I have a very distinct memory of in Hawaii, you waking me and Cole up at like 2 a.m. We had to go to the office, and we're just like lying on the floor with our pillows and blankets watching Dora on the TV that was above your office.
Mm-hmm. I remember that. It was because somebody in one of the sections couldn't get the Army-Navy game on their giant
my gosh.
knowledge
that's
board.
Right.
Yeah. So, because I did VTCs.
Yeah.
That's what it was. So I was doing VTCs, and they told me there was a VTC emergency. And it was because they couldn't get the Army-Navy game up.
Yeah. No, I know. Right.
I was like, seriously?
I know those type of emergencies because I worked in AFN. So,
yeah. So, yeah, there was a very long talk afterwards that's not going to happen again. But, I remember
air quotes emergency. We don't do those.
Yep.
Let's stick with the real. So is there anything else like you can think of as far as, advice you can offer maybe younger kids who listen to this or parents who listen to this that can instill some of these things that we've talked about?
When you're younger, your friends are more temporary. So you shouldn't It's like you can obviously like your friends, but you're not going to make real connections with them as you would when you're older. When you're tiny, your connections with your friends are, we both like Legos. Yeah, and when you get older, your
Cool.
connections with your friends are, this guy was here when I got detention and he had my back the whole time, or he saw me do something I wasn't supposed to do and he didn't rat me out. Or like something as serious as like we snuck in the woods and drank alcohol for the first time at like 16 years old.
my
Wait a minute.
gosh. Let it go. Let it go.
But like
Just wait till this recording
know, right?
turns on.
when you're older, your friends like they have your back. When
Yeah,
you're
for
younger,
sure.
your friends are just there.
And because you're older, I think too, you have more. You can make
You
better,
make deeper friendships.
deeper friendships and better memories, so you can carry those friendships on into your
Rather
adulthood.
than basing it off of Legos or, oh,
Right.
you like popsicles?
Yeah, exactly.
That's
I
dope.
like popsicles
That's
too.
dope. Let's go.
We're best friends.
I know, right?
Did we just
Did
become
did
best
we just become best friends? I bet we did.
You want to do karate in the garage?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm really glad you came, and I'm so proud to be your mom. And thank you for being part of my military life and staying resilient and strong through it. You're a good kid, and I think you turned out pretty dang awesome.
I came out half baked, but I finished near the end.
And Laszlo and Elena, if you ever hear this, I know you won't. I kind of like you too. So
Oh,
well done.
Daddy loves you.
We are Mission Ready Airmen, providing premier training to the C-130 and cyber enterprises, capitalizing on partnerships to support the state and defend the nation. Our vision is to be a diverse family of airmen, dedicated, adaptive, and empowered to lead.